The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.
Well, welcome to The Dating Show, joined by Danielle. Today we're talking about eye contact, which is a really interesting thing. Sometimes you can give somebody too much eye contact, sometimes not enough. Now, the eyes apparently are the messengers of the soul.
Yes, we keep our eyes open, or we keep them peeled. We see eye to eye, but with some we might want to turn a blind eye to.
The thing is with eye contact, it's a funny sort of balance, isn't it? Because sometimes you can give somebody too much eye contact. Sometimes if you're not looking at them enough or at all, it's a bit awkward. You come across people like that all the time. So what's your sort of take on that?
I think it's all about finding the right balance. You don't want to be staring into somebody like you're interrogating them if you're talking to them, but then you don't want to be looking around the room as if you're not really paying attention to them. So I think it's about finding the balance between looking at someone in the eyes when you're talking to them and perhaps flitting away when you're thinking of a question or thinking of a memory or something like that you want to talk about.
Okay, and the other thing is, I've read a little bit, but I know you've looked at this a bit more, and it's pupil dilation, because you can read a lot into that, can't you?
Yeah, so pupil dilation is quite interesting really, because it's one of those sort of communicating behaviours that people aren't really aware of when they're talking to each other. So when people are shown two identical photographs of a woman, the only difference was that her pupils were different. And one was artificially enlarged to double the normal natural size. And when people were asked which one they found more attractive, 60 to 80% said that the photo with the bigger pupils was more attractive. However, if you asked them to describe the difference between the two photographs, most people weren't able to tell that it was the pupils that were...
So it almost could be like a subconscious thing.
Yes,
they're not actually saying, well, because they've got bigger pupils, they're more attractive. I don't know what's going on here, why that one's more attractive than the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's really
it's
interesting,
something to do with like the inner psychology.
But don't your pupils dilate if you go into a bright room or a dark room? They do change anyway, don't they?
Yeah.
So you can't...
Well, you can't really help it, but it's sort of a natural thing that happens. If you're going into a dark room, your pupils get bigger because it's a dark room and your eye wants to get more light in so it can see properly. So perhaps plan your date in a darker room, in a sort of darkly, dimly lit restaurant to have better pupil dilation.
So that's probably why in the past they sort of, you have a candlelit dinner, a romantic candlelit dinner, because it's dark and
your pupils will dilate.
The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.